What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia, live from the Double Eagle Saloon and Deck Bar here in Vineland, New Jersey. It's KB, joined by Coach Guzman. Coach, obviously not the most ideal situation with last week's game, but how's everybody, hanging in, going into this next week and, taking what they can in stride from Friday night's loss?
Again, unfortunate. We came up short, and we know a lot of it was, due to our mistakes, self-inflicted wounds, if you will. But the kids are, they gave everything they had, and they're looking forward to rebounding this week.
Some solid efforts across the board from everybody. It just kind of slipped away late. Talk to me about what you guys as a staff take away from a game like that, where it is, feels like it is right there for the taking and just slips away.
Again, the staff takes it just as hard as the kids. It was definitely a sour taste in the mouth. But again, the team with and I said it in the previous podcast, the team that made the least mistakes were going to be the victors in this one. And we made a few more than, Clearview, and kudos to them and their staff. They're a Class A program through and through. Coach Duncan's doing an excellent job with them kids, and we just got to look forward to the next game. We can't dwell on the past. So,
two quarterbacks end up making appearances in this game. Jacob Martinez for most of the game, his second game at the varsity level. What did you guys take away from his progression from game one to game two, and what are some things that you want to continue to see him work on and improve upon?
Listen, that's a tough kid, resilient kid. He gave us everything he had. And what we took from him was that, now he understands that he can really play at the level that we need him to play at. He has the team rallying behind him. And he has, not just the support of his teammates, but, the coaching staff. We love that kid. Great kid. He gives you everything on the field. And, we're just looking forward to getting them back as soon as we possibly can. But, again, we're going to rely on the trainers, Ms. Dara and TD, to go ahead and take care of him as they would any of the athletes in Vineland, and give us the timetable on when he returns.
Gavin steps in, has kind of transitioned to playing tight end the last two games, and then is able to come right in and play, that backup quarterback role, that emergency quarterback role in this instance, for sure. Talk to me about just the way Gavin was able to kind of just jump into that moment, high pressure, high octane situation, going down to try to win the game in that moment. Just talk about his composure and what you saw progression-wise from him from week 0 to a even higher pressure situation, I think, than anybody could have imagined just being thrown into the fire for.
Absolutely. You could say that again, where he was thrown into the fire. But, Gavin is a kid that just – he takes everything in stride. He has a great demeanor. His mindset is just excellent for especially for this type of game. Kept his cool, kept his composure, went in there. He wasn't gun shy at all. He let a few go again. Wasn't the best execution wise, team wise, of every play that he was involved in. But he took it. I mean, you saw we were about to score again. I mean, this kid, again, special kid. The team rallies behind him as well. And we just came up short, Kyle. We just came up short, So kudos to him for coming right in there and getting the job done. He did it with no reservations at all. Boom. And plug and play, man, with that kid.
After the game, I heard Coach Hendricks talk about, some of those small plays are the ones that will keep him up at night. And, talked to some of the captains on the team afterwards too, and they said, we got to pick it up in practice. We got to be better than what we were this week. We can't be sitting around. We can't let this linger and be kind of a standard for us. We have to improve from this game in particular to be better, especially knowing who's on the schedule this coming week with our first road game. Talk about just the leadership aspect today, first practice back. After that game, what was kind of the vibe and the energy from those captains, from the leaders on this team, and how was practice overall today?
I'll tell you one thing. Our leaders, they're the four horsemen, man. They rally everybody together. I can't speak enough about those four. They're just good kids. They came in high energy, and it just feeds into practice. High energy practice. Even so, we had some thunder and lightning, so we couldn't really go out on the field.
Charles and Josh?
Thunder and lightning. We'll leave that on standby. But yeah, absolutely, man. Josh and Charles, thunder and lightning, absolutely. We're waiting for Thunder to get back, and he's going to be back. Just again, we have to wait on that timetable. Our kids are our number one priority. Their safety, their well-being. And so, we'll let TD and Dara work their magic, along with any, we're still waiting on some MRI stuff from Charles. So, when that timetable kicks off, we'll be ready to go ahead and plug them back in. But again, the practice, even though it was mostly indoors, there was a lot of film work we did. And then we had to, again, due to the thunder and lightning, we had to go into the gym and install, but we're going to go ahead and install for this week's opponent in Kingsway.
I feel like after a game like Friday night, where it was so close, throughout the entire game, back and forth, whether it was points or just, punts and everything in between, a film session can make or break the following week. How important was it kind of, driven home that today's film session was going to be monstrous moving forward?
It is something that we ingrain in our kids. If they are not watching film on their opponent, they're not going to have the wherewithal to face that opponent, totally face them come, game night. So we have them, constantly digging into Huddle, our service that we go ahead and have for the kids, to go ahead and review film on their own. But when it comes down to a film day as today, everyone's locked in. The coaches are going ahead, which they already made their notes over the weekends. They're just going ahead and feeding them everything they need to adjust, their alignments, along with their assignments. The 3 A's, man, in football, very, very important offensively and defensively. So our offensive coordinator in Hendricks, our defensive coordinator in Smith, really honed in on all of the X's and O's, all the execution mistakes we made. The kids saw it. Maybe they needed to see it 2-3 times. So we made sure that they saw what they did wrong and what they need to do versus this team come Friday in order to secure a victory.
Unfortunately, the streak came to an end, but 7 shutout quarters to start your head coaching career defensively, to go from that fourth quarter against Oakcrest all the way through the Bridgeton game, and then as far as you did in this Clearview game. Just talk about the mindset and kind of just the energy that Cliff brings to this defense. I know we talk about it a ton, but that's an impressive streak at any level. To have 7 straight quarters of no points allowed, whether it's safety, field goal, touchdown.
Agreed.
That's beyond impressive. Just talk about the mentality that he's been hitting home with this defense and trying to, install again as he's come back again this year.
I'll tell you one thing. Coach Clifton Smith, he's alive and well. He's alive and well. That energy he brings to the stage is just it's incredible. The kids feed off of it. Coach Shelton himself, who's here with us tonight. Again, Batman and Robin, man, they're on a mission, and their mission is to not let the opposing team score at all. That's it. It's goose eggs that they see at night. They bring it to practice with them, that mindset. So, you have that mindset. It's very, very addictive. And it's the kids just feed off of their energy. And they display it come every game day. They just want the goose egg on the board. They don't want no points, no blemishes, you know.
And I mean, across the board, too, you look at the way that this defense has performed. 19 points, 0, 17. Again, very impressive to limit the damage across the board, to put the offense in positions where they
Right.
can have opportunities to win games. Talk about how this defense has kind of been, this is even dating back a few years ago, too. Like, the last few years has kind of been the backbone of the way that this team has been constructed.
We really, really, how could I put it? We put an emphasis on defense because, as you well know, defense wins championships. Not to say that we don't put the same energy and same emphasis on our offense, but the guys that we have playing in this specific defense for Coach Smith, they're wholeheartedly set on pitching shutouts every single game. They want to give the offense the ball back, in which case they do most of the time. They're just impressive all the way through and through. It does not matter whether you look at the linemen, the linebackers, the D-backs. They're all playing at a high energy level to go ahead and not only pitch these shutouts, but they want to make their defensive coaches proud. And Mike Wimbish with the D-backs and Coach Shelton with the linebackers. Coach Smith. I mean, everyone's working in tandem. And so it's just a nice thing to see come game day. They just fly around and make plays.
Speaking of Coach Wimbish, how much does Xavier Diaz love playing against Clearview? Because that kid, back-to-back years now, big-time, momentum-swinging interceptions. He sees green and yellow in his sleep, I think, and it's like a bull with a matador.
Yes.
He just loves getting those interceptions and big-time plays against Clearview for whatever reason. He seems to be their kryptonite.
Xavier, just dynamite, man. He's definitely a spark of energy, whether it's defensively, offensively. Again, he's upped his game every single year. And then he puts other tools in his toolbox, and all of a sudden you see him on Friday, and you're like, where'd that come from?
Want to talk about Batman? He's got the utility belt ready to go.
Ready to rock. So, Kyle, he's a special player, and we've known that since we've gotten him here in Vineland. And he's just going to keep, again, working every week and bringing out a new trick. It's amazing to see him when he's on. He's up there with the best of them. I'm sorry, it is the truth.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you look at the way that the team kind of responded after a game like that on Friday, to know that it left that sour taste in their mouth. It really felt like they knew that they were better than the opponent on the field, and the outcome just didn't dictate that at the end. Mm-hmm. How much of a positive is that for you guys as a coaching staff, to know that this team believes in themselves and believes in the talent that's out there, to know that they're not satisfied with a game like that?
It's very pleasing for us as a staff to see that, because of the simple fact that we know our kids, they don't want to settle for that. They definitely don't want to settle for second place. They want one. They want that first place, tag on them. And there's a lot of games left in the season. And this is something we drive home to them. They've got to understand that. It's a long season, and we still have a lot of football left. So, again, our kids did come up short, but their mindset stays the same. High bar, high energy, and face every practice that way.
Looking at, just the end result of this game, a couple guys did get banged up in this one. How was the injury report coming out of the Clearview game, and how are you guys feeling optimistic-wise about any of the guys that did get banged up heading into this matchup against Kingsway?
So, again, talked with Miss Dara and TD pertaining to Carter,
Which happened early in the game and kind of changed so much in the running game.
Yeah, he's our stand-up DN there. And, he took a shot in the shoulder. So, again, I have to leave that up to them and let him, nurse him back to health. But I got a nice little message, I guess, if you will, a little silver lining. He could be available 2 to 3 weeks. It just depends on how severe that injury to his right shoulder is. Now, as far as Jacob, our quarterback, um, he did have severe swelling in that right foot. Um, they don't know yet. They haven't given a X-ray yet, but he should be getting that tomorrow morning with his parents. Um, and again, the swelling did go down a lot over the weekend. It was pretty swollen, pretty swollen after the game, but he came back in a boot and did the protocols that our trainers set forth for him. So we're gonna wait on that news too, and hopefully again in talking with Miss Dara and TD, they said, you're looking 2 to 3 weeks there too. So, you know, we have other players in the stable. We're gonna go ahead and keep coaching them up as we do, and we'll be ready come Friday. No excuses.
Were you all as a coaching staff that were in that area when Jacob gets tackled that way? Were you all as surprised as we were in the booth that a horse collar wasn't called? Obviously, you have a more direct view of everything happening, so, like, you may have had a cleaner look to see if it was, pulling from the jersey specifically. Was it kind of surprising to you guys?
Some of the calls throughout the games, plural, have been surprising, but again, there's no excuses. We lost that game fair and square. One call's not gonna determine a game for the most part, and it sure wasn't that at all. So again, kudos to Clearview. They beat us fair and square, and we're just looking forward to Kingsway and what we need to do there.
How beneficial is it, with both of those guys with a 2 to 3 week kind of, diagnosis? Is it that right smack in the middle you guys have a bye week?
Right, which is nice because that gives us that extra week to get them back into the swing of things. So we're really hoping that the timetable is kind of like in the 2 week range, not 3. But if it does go, we have that extra week to go ahead and kind of solidify things with them. So we just got to wait and see. We got to wait and see, Kyle.
To know that it is, kind of a 2 to 3 week thing with Jacob and seeing how well Gavin being thrown into the fire like that is, how excited are you guys as a staff to know that he's going to be able to go back out there, lead this team throughout an entire 4 quarters, and be locked in a way that, week 0, everybody has those first-time jitters, especially somebody who's playing the position for the very first time.
Absolutely.
To see how composed he was in such a high-pressure situation. How exciting is that for just his development and your guys' even more added trust in him at the quarterback position?
Like I said, Gavin is just that laissez-faire type attitude, man. He definitely just takes energy and just goes along with it. So he's that type of special player that the moment's not going to be too big for him, as you saw. Again, we came up short, but he made it a game there at the end. He really made it very exciting. Again, nobody left the building until those last couple of seconds clicked away, but. We're really highly excited for him. We're highly excited that he's back, at the helm. But that's a type of kid, like I said, you put him at tight end, he's going to do well. We could even split him out. He would do well. You put him on defense, he's going to do well. He's just.
Let's not forget he scored the first touchdown of the game on special
teams.
Special
teams. Come on, Kyle. This kid does it all. He does it all with no reservations. He won't. It's always a yes, sir. He's one of those kids. He's a great kid, and we love having him on our football team.
And, speaking of special teams, our Allen Associates player of the game this week was the Golden Boot himself, Colin Greif, and Allen Associates, proud sponsor of Guzman's Gridiron. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belts, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered, and their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access their services by visiting their brand new website, which is linked in the description, both on audio and on YouTube. So join the family and let them help you secure your future, and you can contact them by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for sponsoring Guzman's Gridiron.
Thank you.
Colin Greif, once again, just
Senor Greif.
pulling out the mega boot that he has and nails another field goal. The punt game, phenomenal. And just giving you guys that advantage with field position.
Listen, again, I can't say enough about, the Golden Boy, and Colin Greif. He's just a great teammate, a great kid to coach, and this is a kid, he's just a great kid, He works on his craft all the time. This is a kid who's, absolutely 110% devoted to his craft. And it shows every game day. It shows in every single practice. This kid gives you everything he has from the beginning of practice to the end. Come game day, the switch is on. It's always on. He's ready, at the ready, with no equivocations, goes out there, gets everything done. We're proud to have him on our team. It's a whole he's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. The truth's the truth.
He can flip the script just like that.
Just like this. So, again, because of all the hard work and his work ethic, he's where he's at. And I'm telling you, this kid is going to be a shoo-in to go somewhere big. And I don't mean your local schools. He will be somewhere where they're going to see him and they're going to say, wow, I can do this with him. Oh, I can directional kick. He does it all, and he's still a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's still young. So we're really proud to have him on our team.
Fun hypothetical for you. Obviously,
let's go.
Game scripts can change,
right.
Everything. Do you think Colin can average a field goal per game this year?
Without a problem. Without a problem. This kid is
which
like
at the high school level is rare.
Yes, but he's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, he is. That's him. When you're thinking about Colin, it's he loves his craft. He loves kicking. He loves punting, and he gets the books is easy for him. That's nothing. His grade point average is solid. So he's a dynamic player in that. Again, he can change the course of a game. He really can. So, again, we're excited for him, man. We're totally excited.
First full week of school getting underway this week. How has kind of that adjustment been for everybody, getting back in the swing of things, of having, full day of school,
right.
Then going to practice and keeping that schedule going now?
It was a pretty easy transition for us. Kids got right on mentally, and I was prepping them a couple weeks prior. This is how the practice schedule is going to go. Make sure that you guys are right on with our practice schedule, because we don't want to lose any type of time.
Mm-hmm.
So time is of the essence. They know practices from now the school's in session. It's not 5 to 8 at night no more. It's 2:45 to 6. They know that, and they're out there immediately. They're on. Like we say, they better be on the practice field at 2:45, not walking to the practice
mm-hmm.
field at 2:45. And them kids are all at the ready right when we go down the hill to go ahead and start practice. So, our teams are locked in right now. Our team is locked, not just varsity. JV's locked in. They just got their third win in a row. They're 3-0.
Look at that.
So, against Clearview. So our freshmen haven't gotten a game yet, but they will. And it's a lot due to these teams not
mm-hmm.
having freshman squads. So, but we're locked in, Kyle. We're locked in. So.
And every Monday night, they can come on out to the Double Eagle and
100%.
hang out with us to watch
100%.
the show get recorded live. Big thank you to Rob Bono and the
Thank
Double
you,
Eagle
Robbie.
for having us every single week. From now until the end of the season, it will be Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Guzman's Gridiron, right here out on the deck bar at the Double Eagle. The energy in the stadium, once again, phenomenal. Shout out to the fans, the
100%.
student section coming out, the band, the cheerleaders, top-notch. A+ once again, raise the bar from week to week.
Again, thank you to the community. Thank you to, the band, the color guard. The Upside Down was there. The Upside
was fantastic.
Great show. Great support all the way through and through. The cheerleaders, you name it. Just a dynamic place to be, Gatone now. The kids are making it really, really fun to be. At Gatone Stadium, playing at at the high school level, to have all them people back there cheering you on and you know, being involved actively in the game, it's a nice feeling, man. And it's for these kids, you know, that's for these kids. So, you know, community, keep coming out in droves like you have been. The kids are really appreciative. Us as the staff, very appreciative. So, you know, and also, if I could, thank you to all the sponsors. You know, Red and Gray Gridiron Club. Thank you to all of you. You guys, you know, those donations make a lot of things possible for our kids.
You want to say it was 22 sponsors
Yes.
that I read
Yes.
off.
Thank you to all of them.
Which was amazing.
Yes.
And also want to reiterate, too, for everybody coming out to the home games. Obviously, we're on the road this week, but like you mentioned last week, for both the youth programs, the Blitz, 3rd Street, those kids, if they wear their jerseys, if they wear their cheerleading uniforms, free entry. Come on out.
Absolutely.
It is such a fun environment to be in. Like, I enjoy Friday nights just going, knowing that that environment is going to be off the charts electric. Right below us in the booth. We have so much fun with it. The band was phenomenal.
Yes.
And I talked to Justin Feliciano after, the director of the marching band. He was like, you haven't seen anything yet.
Right.
That wasn't even – that we were just scratching the surface. That was the first time we were out there. And they blew me away.
They're great, man. He's you know, I'm glad that he's a part of our kids' lives, because he's one of them people that are for the kids of Vineland. So kudos to him and his staff.
And
great.
that drum line, once again, just incredible. Shout out to my guy Tyler Steinbrenn, the drum line director.
Thank you.
They bring the – you want to talk about energy.
I mean, you know, you hear it at the beginning of the game, and then you hear it leaving the game. It's just – it's a beautiful energy that Catone's bringing, and, you know, that's what these kids need. You know, they need that energy to feed off of it, you know. And I'm not just talking football. I'm talking band, cheerleader, everybody, our kids, you know, the community of VHS, Vineland High School, these kids need that, man. They need it. So, again, community, thank you for coming out and supporting your kids.
One last thing before we take our break. You know, this little home stretch comes to a close now, getting ready for that first road game. What do you guys as a staff, as a team, take away from this first stretch at home to learn as a team, to take in kind of this first chunk of the season for what it is, and establish, you know, what you learned at home to bring on the road?
One of the main things is the kids are starting to understand their roles to their fullest potential. And in knowing their roles, they're also starting to gel together. The likes of which it's very how could I put it? It's just very nice to see that working dynamic between all of them now. You see, they got the hard hat on, and they're really learning from each other. Little nuances. Maybe this tackle might take a step extra in flushing the guy down the line of scrimmage. So now the quarterback realizes that, makes his adjustment. Even though X's and O's says the play's going to hit here, well, now you have to adjust even more so to your lineman. So it might, instead of hitting here, it might hit a little bit more to the right. That's all. But it's still the same path. So, again, I think that we take from it, you know, that working camaraderie that we're going to definitely need on the road, because that togetherness is what makes or breaks teams when they're away on that road. It's a tough dynamic to be on the road. So now they're used to all the noise, you see. And all we tell them is the opposite of what you're seeing today is what you're going to see on the road. So all that noise coming in when the offense is out there, right, that's what you guys are going to face when we're away, especially at a place like Kingsway. I'm just telling you, they have a dynamic student section and dynamic culture there. So, you know, our kids will be ready. That'll be the least of their worries is the noise.
It's going to be very exciting. We're going to take a quick break, have a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this Kingsway matchup, get you prepared for Friday night on the road. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Guzman's Gridiron right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia. This episode of Guzman's Gridiron is brought to you proudly by Allen Associates. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belts, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered.
Our family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access our services by visiting our brand new website, allenassoc.com. That's ALLENASSOC.com. Link is also in the description of this episode. So join the family and let us help you secure your future. Contact Allen Associates today by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. We want to thank Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron, the official Vineland High School football coaches show on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. Now, let's get back to the show.
Big thank you to our sponsors once again. Coach, we're getting ready to go on the road for the first time this year.
Yes.
First road trip, if you will. What has been the message this week, too, to kind of send home that, we got to prepare for a different environment, like you mentioned, and be even more disciplined now that we're going to be the visiting team?
Again, we really reiterate the fact that you're going to go ahead and see all this energy on the flip side, on their home turf. So you've got to block that noise out, white noise. And on top of that, we have got to execute X's and O's. Mistake-free football. We keep drilling it in their head. Mistake-free football. So make sure that you come totally ready. Your mentality has to be ready for a mistake-free football game when you're on the road.
And getting ready for a Friday night where you are going on the road, what is kind of the preparation steps that leading into Friday night that you guys are, kind of installing, if you will, to get that ready, to be on a bus, going, to a hostile environment, a different area than what you've been going to for almost the last month for Friday Night Lights?
So, again, we always reiterate to the kids the white noise aspect. Once you're on the bus, there's no talk. It's quiet, silent. Get on your phone, use some extra film, maybe listen to some music that'll pump you up on the ride. It's quiet, and that's how we like it. Just zone in, know what you got to do, know your 3As, alignment, assignment, adjustment, and come ready. Come ready to go. Once you get off that bus, anything that you had any type of, inkling about that, should I do this? Should I do that? That's all out the window. That's all out the window, and it's time to put on the hard hat and play.
Looking at this Kingsway matchup, they came into Gatone Stadium last year and laid a whooping. I believe it was 56-7 was the final score. One of those lopsided games that you never want to be on the losing end of. Has that been whispered about in kind of, just saying, hey, they got one over on us last year. We're going to their place now. We got to try to even the score.
Let's put it this way. Our captains definitely remember. And the kids that were involved with us, last year remember. And you want to talk about a sour taste left in your mouth? Yeah. The feeling, it got, reacquainted, if you will, with the kids and the staff. So we know what type of energy is going to be, unleashed come this game day on Friday.
Kingsway, one of those, powerful, dominant teams in the South Jersey area over the last few years. What are some things that you guys have picked up so far in your film study as a coaching staff to see what Kingsway does well, how they match up against your guys' team, and some things that you're going to have to make adjustments for, and some things that you think, our kids can do some things here against this team?
Nothing but respect for Kingsway and their coaching staff and their kids. But, yeah, we definitely know what type of ball game that this team displays on a weekly basis. We've studied it, as a staff. We had film and install today, so we've relayed that to our kids. And what I can tell you is they have some great athletes on that team. But, again, we have great athletes too. So as long as our kids come, play, execute against, again, that team is or has been in the past very dominant. It's going to be one heck of a night for football. I can tell you that right now.
Looking at, some of the injuries across the team right now and looking at the guys who have stepped up. You talk about Gavin coming back in at quarterback, Josh kind of taking the lead back role last week.
Right.
Who are some guys you're looking to see step up, in some potentially new roles and in some similar roles this week, knowing the opponent that you're going to be facing?
We're definitely looking to see a little more Nazir Lewis. We're looking to see, Prince. We're looking to see these guys that may have not got in as much last game. We're looking to see them, go ahead and do their due diligence on the field come Friday, because they all offer a different set of skills. So we're trying to really see who's going to come and play this week during practice to earn the right to come out on Friday and get under them big lights in Friday Night Lights football.
It's like Liam Neeson and Taken. I come with a very unique set of skills.
Yeah, you're right.
Talk about Prince. Last year, kind of, just the backup running back role.
Yep.
Rich and I said it on the broadcast. We didn't expect just the burst and energy that he has on the defensive side of the ball, which we touched on a little bit last week. He's so quick to get to the ball, which is so impressive. And, you talked about how he's kind of in this jack-of-all-trades role, which I don't know if you saw. The Falcons put out their official depth chart this week, and on offense, they had a new position listed for an all-time player, especially in the special teams game, Cordero Patterson, listed as J for the Joker.
The Joker.
That's what Prince comes off to me as, where you mentioned he's in this hybrid linebacker, safety, defensive back role, but also is a running back. Mm-hmm. He's kind of the Joker on this team.
He is. Prince, great kid again. High energy kid. He'll do whatever he needs to do to get, to ultimately get a win. But defensively, he's been opening eyes, not only, Coach Shelton and Coach Mike and things of that nature, but the man himself and Coach Smith has been like, what?
Who wasn't around for Prince last year, didn't coach him last year.
Right. So, being so that now he's opening Coach Smith's eyes, he's going to see a lot of time on that defensive side of the ball as well. Coach Hendricks loves him as well, ROC. And, we're going to see what kind of utilization that Coach Hendricks puts him in come Friday.
For Prince as well, last year coming in as a transfer student, how much do you think of just, a full season last year, kind of getting acclimated to Vineland itself, and now this year having that full year, how much more comfortable does it feel like from your guys' perspective that he is just around this team and in this culture that you guys are cultivating?
I know for a fact that the team he was involved before he got to Vineland, he wasn't too happy there for whatever reason, and that's his business. But he sure gels with our kids. He sure gels with our staff, with our football family. And we love having that kid on our team. He's just a ball of energy, and you see it in these plays that he makes on defense. Even on offense, when he's coming downhill and running downhill, forget about it. You bet it's going to take more than one to tackle him. He's not an easy tackle. And again, this kid, offensively, he hasn't even scratched the surface yet. He's going to get in a lot more and start to be utilized in a lot of different ways. But defensively, he's at the ball now, like that. So we're going to see where Mr. Prince Forte does, come this Friday.
And I was looking at, the stats that you guys sent over to us before the game. I think there would have been one person who would have predicted that through the X amount of games that you guys had played would lead the team in sacks going into Clearview. And that was Prince Forte. I think Prince would have been the one to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. Knowing just the talent that's in that defensive group that is going to go after the quarterback and make those plays. Plus, we've never seen Prince defensively like this. So we had no idea what to expect.
No.
How fascinating is that for you guys as a staff to just see his quickness to the ball and knowing that he can get after the quarterback like that?
It's just another bullet in the chamber, if you will. We just have guys that we can literally send out on missions to go ahead and get them nice QB sacks from so many different positions. It's not just the D-backs or linebackers. We even guys on the line stunning inside, getting their fair share of sacks. So again, Coach Smith has a very unique way of utilizing a base defense, if you will, and making it in such that it's now not the normal defense that you might think in a 3-3 stack or 4-3. Now it got hybridized in his way, in his stamp, in his way of doing things. So when we see these kids absorb that knowledge from him and then display it, hence Prince, it's like, wait a minute, this is nice. This is really nice. And you just wait for it. I'm going to leave that hanging up in the air a little bit. Well, you wait for it with Prince. He's just showing us a little bit yet. He has a lot more to give.
And two other players that stood out to me last week that I think are just going to continue to play extremely well going into this week and beyond. We talked about him last week. Saquon Anderson, once again, unbelievable game. And Ryan Maven is like the unsung hero. That kid, you want to talk about, is just in the mix of every play. Those two have just continued to impress me week in and week out.
Let me tell you something, man. In what we got in Saquon and what we got in Mr. Maven, I mean, you take your pick. You want to take a shot up top because you think your receiver's fast? Okay. Here goes Saquon, batting the ball down. You think that you're going to go ahead and just run right up the gut because you're 220 pounds? Good luck. Here comes Mr. Maven. And if he needs to get low, he gets low. And he's stopping the run, or he's stopping, someone from getting a flare pass. These kids have very unique skills that we, again, cultivate and utilize. Everything is conformed to our kids' strengths. So my hat goes off to Maven and Anderson. They're playing at a level far beyond what anyone thought that they could play at. So kudos to them.
We talked about obviously going on the road this week. What are some things that you feel like you have to do as a first-time head coach to prepare for your first road game of your career, to be locked in, be dialed in from a coaching perspective?
You know what? I'm going to be honest, Kyle. It don't take me much with the coaching perspective at all. Like, I'm locked in day one. The minute we either win or lose, that game's behind me. I'm already looking at the next game. That night, I go and watch film. The night of our win or loss, I'm going home and watching film for a few hours. That's just how I'm built. I can't wait to get home, watch a few hours. I'll go to sleep, wake up, watch a little more. You know what I mean? So I keep it going. So I use the same mentality that I had when I was a player and utilize it as a coach. So I'm watching, and I like watching the game live. I'm so happy actually that our Vineland department of the telecast, they're doing such a great job, man. I mean, such a great job. So thank you to our VPS, telecast staff. Like, you guys,
it's been unreal. The way that it is updated from year in and year out since I've been a part of it, and even dating back before I was on the broadcast. Like, the amount of student workers we have too is fantastic.
Right?
Shout out to Doug Diola as well, our senior producer.
Thank you.
Like, the way that things have just flipped overnight too.
Yes.
Where like last year it was Doug, myself, Gia, and Rich in the booth.
Right.
Now it's, we have 2 student workers in the booth. Doug's in the booth now. We have 2 cameras operating. We're working on getting the truck. Like, it is getting back to, I think, the standard that we established as a city from the jump when it came to broadcasting high school sports.
Listen, you guys, again, excellent job. Hat goes off to him and his staff. Just great all the way through. But, again, I like watching it live, through the YouTube channel available. And I'll sit back and I'll go ahead and make my notes. A lot of my stuff, I have really good memory. Like, my staff will tell you, like, I just remember everybody's name. God gifted me with really good memory. So once I see something for a few times, it's locked in. I know the play. I know the player. I'm ready, as if I was going to put on the suit and join in on Friday, which I wish we all could. You know what I mean? But again, you know, so yeah, as far as coaching, I take it very seriously. I have to make sure that I know everything that we're facing, offensively, defensively, special teams. If I see anything that catches my eye, I'm on the phone with my guys. I text them. We have really nice dialogue between each other. Again, you know, I can't say enough about my staff. I have the greatest staff, man.
And, you know, looking at your staff through this first 3 weeks of the season, what have you guys kind of learned collectively, you know, as a staff from these first 3 games that, you know, the positives, the negatives, the in-betweens that you're going to take forward, especially into Kingsway and then moving into this next chunk of the season?
One of the things that we definitely, you know, pride ourselves in is have a quick memory. All right, you know, win, lose, whatever happened, we're okay. We're going to move on and fix all the mistakes for this week and do the same for the following week and so, you know, and so on. So, you know, our staff is very diligent on, you know, X's and O's and, you know, things that we have to improve on ourselves. And we do, you know, we all do. Again, I take every loss right on the chin. You know, it starts with me. So, you know, we make sure that we do the necessary work before we face any opponent, so that way, come Monday when we're doing film and install with our kids, we want them to be clear, totally clear. There's no questions. If they do have any questions, the answer is right there. It's not, well, Coach, what do you think? No, we already talked. The answer's there. So hats off to my staff again, man, and my kids. Love my kids and my staff.
And, you know, as you get ready for this matchup against Kingsway, what's something that stood out to you about this Kingsway team? You know, you talked about how they have really great athleticism. What's something that you think Kingsway does really well that is going to have to be a focus for you guys going into that game, whether it's, you know, the way that they pass the ball, run the ball, defensively? What's something that stood out to you so far through your film study?
Through my film study, one thing that really stood out to me is in not giving too much away, right, is in my opinion, they're very clone-like to Clearview. No frills. They're smash mouth football team. So we know where we're getting there. And again, best believe we'll be prepared come Friday. Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. Believe me that.
Before we wrap with, you know, final thoughts for Kingsway, obviously alumni are back in session across the board. Isaiah Pacheco getting a little feisty out on the field with C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the opening game for the Chiefs and the Lions. Pop wasn't happy with something C.J. was saying, and, you know, I saw the clip and I said, Pop doesn't mess around.
Oh, no.
You want to talk smack, he's going to talk it right back. He's going to let you know about it. And he's going to let you feel it and hear it. I found that. I was like, that's good old-fashioned Isaiah Pacheco right there.
Well, you know, Pop, he knows, love him to death. You know, it's like this. First of all, if you're from this town, if you're from Vineland, you have a little grit to you.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and Pop definitely has a little grit to him. As well as Mr. Denby and all our kids, you know, Mr. Powell, right? So he was just giving back the same energy that, you know, this CJ was giving him.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he learned later on that game where, you know, your ankles can be found on the sideline. You understand?
Yep.
He kind of hit him the beginning and, you know, his helmet popped off, right? And plays go on. About 4 or 5 plays later, Pop hit the outside. And CJ came downhill, thought he had a nice angle, but CJ kept going.
Thought did.
If you think long, you think wrong. That's
Yep.
what I say. And he thought wrong. He kept going here, and Pop cut it up, 12 yards, let's go. So, yeah, there was a lot of bickering back and forth, but it's all good in good fun, I'm sure, you know.
Saw on social media this week, Jameel posting old film that he was breaking down. I was like, huh, the boy's back in the lab.
Yes.
You know, he's getting
Yes.
ready. Looks like he's getting to back to his workout routines and everything, which is exciting. Whether it's NFL or XFL, we know he's going to succeed, but it is exciting to see that, he's getting back into a routine and everything, and it seems like, the football dream is going to continue on for Jamil.
Listen, again, I love that kid, Jamil Demby, Class A person, puts so much love into his craft. He's going to be fine. It doesn't matter what Jamil does. He's going to be totally fine. He's that type of kid, man now. He's that type of man. He's going to give you everything. And he's going to do what it takes to be at whatever level of play or, whatever level of work. He is that type of man that's going to go ahead and give it all, and he's going to reach the stars, I'm telling you. Don't be surprised if you see him even back in the NFL. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be. I'd be like, yeah, that's Jamil.
He's got new music coming out, too. Make sure you go pre-save that on Spotify, Apple Music.
He's in everything, man.
He's doing it all. He's doing it all.
He's over there like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. No, I'm very, very proud of Jamil.
And
God bless him.
You brought up Mr. Tyreen Powell. Rutgers, a huge 36-7 win over Temple this past week. Led the team in tackles. He's currently got 17 tackles on the season. He's got a sack to his name, a forced fumble. And he's got, a fun little matchup coming up this week. For those that don't know, Rutgers plays Virginia Tech.
V-Tech.
Little history there with
Just a little
Tyreen
bit.
and Virginia Tech.
Just a little bit.
How incredible of a start to the season, with the added pressure of, being on watch as one of the best linebackers in the country.
Absolutely.
He's stepping up to the plate in such a big way to start the season now, averaging almost 9 tackles a game.
He's a sideline player on defense, period. And I might even add front, back. I mean, listen, the amount of space that Tyreen covers is unbelievable when you really break it down. When you really watch film, his gait is it's abnormal. I mean, I know I have short legs and all, but if this is 5 yards, all it takes him is 2.5 steps, not even 2 steps. He's already done 5 yards. So it kind of looks, when you look at him, like he's going slow. He's moving. And that's, again, a testament to his hard work, his dedication, his work ethic. I mean, this guy, he's one of the guys, too. In early, last guy out. Film room, in early, last one out. He does everything you ask as a coach. And I know for a fact that none of them coaches at Rutgers U would say anything different. They're just that man right there just hones in on his craft on another level.
How much added emphasis do you think he has personally for this game coming up against Virginia Tech? Everything where he originally committed to go to Va-Tech, then switches up, stays home, goes to Rutgers. How much do you think he's had this one circled on the calendar? How early do you think he whipped out the Sharpie and said, Virginia Tech week?
V-Tech. Well, if people didn't know, V-Tech did take a shot on Tyreen. However, Tyreen made the best decision for him and his family. Same thing with, Isaiah. Pop made the best decision for him and his family, and along with Jamil as well. So V-Tech, all I gotta say is they've got a tough matchup, and stopping that man right there is gonna be tough. He's definitely gonna come in with a little bit more on his shoulder come this game, and not so much. There was no love loss or anything like that. It was just a decision he had to make, again to kind of bring into light also his family, So it wasn't anything that Virginia Tech did to him or anything like that. He didn't make a decision based on that. So, again, V-Tech, thank you for coming, to Vineland for our kids. We totally enjoy the fact that you guys are looking at our kids, but you're going to be facing one of our kids. So again, Tyreen, best of luck to you, man. Keep up the great work. You're one of the great ones.
Plus, such a good start for Rutgers. I genuinely can't remember the last time Rutgers started a season 2-0.
2-0, unblemished.
Which is like, it's one of those things, college football, that happens a lot. But, like, Rutgers has been building that program back up over the past few years with Coach Schiano. And to get that 2-0 start has to have that locker room buzzing.
Listen, Coach Schiano is a mastermind, period. not just X's and O's. He knows the whole game, and bringing this hype to that area up north and at Rutgers, in getting all of the facilities that the kids need to succeed. Not only the facilities for the kids to succeed, but the facilities that are commensurate with the other facilities that are in the Big Ten, right? You go to some of these places, it's unbelievable the amount of things they have available for the kids.
Especially now, the USC's and UCLA's coming to the Big
Yeah.
Ten.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. You walk on some of these campuses and you're like, they have this? They have what? They have masseuse, flexologist, massage therapist. I mean, you name it. These kids got it. LSU air-conditioned helmets. Are you kidding me right now? Air-conditioned helmets. What are you doing? I like my helmet. I'm going to keep it on.
If you'd like to sponsor the Vineland High School football team and get us air-conditioned helmets, call 888.
Come on down. We'll take them. But, yeah, they are doing, again, Rutgers' staff and Coach Schiano, they're doing everything they can to put their student-athletes in a position to win, for real win. Not just a game of football, but to win at the game of life. I mean, these guys, reps to help them speak publicly, reps to go through their social media, kind of show them, well, you might want to remove this. Oh, this stuff you can keep. Just showing them the ins and outs of everything.
Even like the NIL landscape now too.
The whole shebang, Kyle. He has got a system, Coach Schiano, in which he's implemented in his kids and keeps implementing on a daily and adding new avenues for them to go ahead and possibly be able to make some extra money or be able to, do something in the community that can bring to light everything that the Rutgers program is doing. Coach Schiano, hats off to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Excellent guy. Excellent coach. So he's gonna have great futures awaiting for that team, I'm telling you, under him. Great guy.
It's going to be an exciting game this week for them. College football's been exciting to start this year across the board.
Absolutely.
You had the other night the Texas and Alabama game was
Phenomenal.
off the charts.
Phenomenal.
Been some unbelievable college football games across the board. Last bit here, Kingsway coming up. Kind of a chip on your shoulder going into this one. First road game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Give us your thoughts going into this matchup and what you're expecting from the team, your guys as a staff, and then hoping that, the Vineland faithful come travel out on the road. Bring the show of Gatone Stadium on the road to those away stands.
Absolutely. Again, nothing really changes in our preparation. We're going in there, making sure that our kids know all of the little details, the fine details that they need to know about their opponent, as well as the fine details about how we're going to execute and run our offense and defense versus this Kingsway opponent. So, again, we're looking forward to our community coming out, supporting our kids. So please come out in droves again, drive heavy over to, Kingsway High School because your kids, again, not only the football players, but, the band, the drum line, the cheerleaders, they all need you. It's a family thing for real. So, come out in droves, come and support your kids at Vineland, and we're hoping for a W in the win-lose column come Friday.
And I know it's early in the week. We do these on Monday nights now, right here from the Double Eagle.
Yes.
We still are a look good, feel good, play good show. Is there any inkling of what the uniform combo is going to be come Friday night?
See, I don't like letting that out the bag because I let the seniors and the captains handle that. But I'll give you maybe a little hint. We're going with a little lighter shade, if you will, come Friday.
I like it. So be there. Kingsway High School, 6 p.m. kickoff, 7 p.m. kickoff this week.
Did they move it? I want to say no. I want to say it's 6. Let me check for you. The determining factor, Kyle. All right. Let's see. So, Kingsway, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. kickoff. true Friday night lights
True
this time
Friday
of year.
night lights.
Come on out to Kingsway High School. Check out the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. That's where the broadcast will be. youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. Make sure you subscribe to Underground Sports Philadelphia as well so you don't miss out on any episodes of Guzman's Gridiron. You can get it on audio on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe. Leave a 5-star review. Lets us know you're listening to the show. Lets us know, that you're enjoying Guzman's Gridiron. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, where the video version of this show, if you can't make it out to the Double Eagle every Monday night at 7 p.m., it debuts Wednesday nights around 7 p.m., just like live TV. It's one of the coolest things YouTube has implemented over the years. It's just the premiere aspect. You can watch it. We're in the comment section, so you can comment live and talk with us in the chat. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Big thank you to Allen Associates as well for sponsoring the show. Big thank you to Rob Bono and the Double Eagle. And we will see you Friday night from Kingsway High School, hopefully next Monday, talking about a huge win over the Dragons. But until then, this has been another episode of Guzman's Gridiron presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Coach Guzman, I'm KB. We'll see you guys next week.